Jack, we share a mutual friend in the great Rick Rubin, another astute and brilliant man. And similarly, you and I both endorse Robert F. Kennedy. Why do you think he's the best choice for the Democrats? What do you think is the significance of his emerging candidature at this time? And significantly, mate, why have you been willing to put your name and neck on the line endorsing him?
I appreciate his authenticity. Period. He's curious. He's willing to admit his mistakes and his failures. He goes deep in pretty much every single topic that he covers. I've listened to almost every single one of his podcasts just to learn more about him. And in every conversation, I learn something new. And he's willing to change his mind based on facts presented to him. And I just haven't seen a lot of politicians recently, or a lot of public leadership say the words, "I don't know." I don't know, I'm gonna go figure that out. And that's so refreshing to see. And he comes with every answer he has comes with a humanitarian angle. I do believe he truly cares about humanity and making this country better and making the world better because of that.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's as if he has an intuitive recourse to principles and values like community service, and he's quite loving and spiritually oriented man. We spoke to him earlier this week with his wife Cheryl in a fantastic and exclusive interview. If you're watching us right now on YouTube, we can only be on this platform for the first 15 minutes because there are a number of questions that I have for Jack. I'm going to ask him what he thinks about RFK's stand on certain medications and medicines, what Jack thinks about the censorship that's already been applied to RFK, and of course we're going to be talking about the Twitter files. For now though, Jack, what do you think about Biden's refusal to engage with RFK publicly? What does that indicate about free speech? What does that indicate about Biden's personal capacities and abilities?
I don't know how much it is him versus the DNC. I think it's extremely disappointing. I think it removes trust from the system. I think we need to build more trust into our election systems and everything around them, including primaries and debates. And I hope the administration and more broadly the DNC is open to actually allowing for debates. I think it's critical. It's the only way to see how people think about these ideas, and for us to trust who's going to move the country forward the best.
There's a kind of misanthropy in the assumption that what's required for society to work is authoritarianism, censorship, surveillance. What I figure, Jack, is that you exist in a pretty unique space. You've been there for the gold rush inauguration and establishment of essentially new colonies, new territories, new space, new communication dynamics. It seems to me significant that you've had to take this time out. I wonder what it was about your role at Twitter is it that you have been burned or hurt, burned out, worn out, disappointed, disillusioned? What exactly is it that led you to step away from Twitter, mate?
There were a number of things. I mean, the biggest is the realization that as a public company and as a public company CEO, with the dynamics that Twitter had to play in, which was we were entirely dependent upon brand advertising. The brand advertisers have huge sway over the very policies of the service, including the ability to protest and remove their ads from our service. And when you have a service that's entirely dependent upon that brand advertising revenue, it really hurts your ability to do the right thing all the time. Because if they pull back, Wall Street sees that. And if Wall Street sees a pullback, they punish your stock. And if they punish your stock, that affects every single employee because that's how all the employees are paid. And they leave. They go somewhere else where they have a better potential outcome for their equity and for their stock. So it was more the realization that I just didn't believe Twitter could continue to exist as a public company. If it could, I certainly wasn't that person to make it so. I just did not, I didn't feel I had that in me. And at the same time, I was learning about, I come from an open source background. I come from, learning about the internet when it was truly decentralized and it was truly open. And Bitcoin in 2009 was a great reminder to me of what the internet wants to be and what it needs to be. And I just got fascinated more and more with open protocols. And that felt like the answer ultimately for what Twitter needed to be, what role it needed to play in the world in terms of the public square, whether that be global or more local. And I wanted to put more of my efforts into that. And those realizations and just, all the mistakes I made and we made as a company, and a bunch of frustrations I had with the board and just the corporate aspects of the service led me to leave.
Stay free with Russell Brand. See it first on Rumble.